speak their mind, sees the world through a lens so clear, finds the truth without any fear. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true. In her mind, visions of the new, sees potential in every soul, loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true. Of the new, sees potential in every soul, loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, advocate for every child, lending ears and running wild, shines a light in the darkest place, fighting battles with mother's grace. Investigates with sharpest eyes, exposes truth, no compromise, holds opinions strong and willful, but gives advice that's ever skillful. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understand. She's the force of nature.
Woke up before the dawn, she's got her armor on, fighting for those who can't, champion with a loving chant, investigates the hidden truth, with a pen sharp and couth, unlocks doors with every word, injustice never goes unheard. Oh, she's warming it up, with a heart so tough, advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. Counseling in every call, catching up before the fall. She sees the good in every face, spreads hope all over the place. Like Dr. Phil with a softer touch, opinions firm but love so much. Her guidance is a shining star, lifting lives both near and far. Oh, she's momming it up, with a heart so tough, advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. Like Dr. Phil with a softer touch, opinions firm but love so much. Her guidance is a shining star, lifting lives both near and far. Oh, she's momming it up, with a heart so tough, advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. the dawn. She's got her armor on, fighting for those who can't. Champion with a loving chant, investigates the hidden truth with a pen sharp and couth. Unlocks doors with every word, injustice never. Running a PTA with a smile so sweet, hands in the air like she's gotta preach. Solving mysteries with a truth so deep, spreading love, never out of reach. Advocate with a voice so clear, lifting up kids, chasing away the fear. Got her facts straight like a newsroom star, helping hearts heal from near and far. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more with hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find the gold, even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl, for every single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. And the warrior so bright. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more, open hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more, open hope, burning heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find the gold, even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl, for every single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. Running a PTA with a smile so sweet, hands in the air like she's gotta preach. Solving mysteries with a truth so deep, spreading love, never out of reach. Advocate with a voice so clear, lifting up kids, chasing away the fear. Got her facts straight like a newsroom star, helping hearts heal from near and far. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more, with hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find the gold, even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl, for every single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, She lights the night.
All right. Oops. All right. So I was having some sort of an issue. I had to join on my iPad. I hope you can all hear me now. Not sure what's going on, but I apologize. That's what happens sometimes when you're trying to do something quickly and not in the office. I thought this would be great. I just hop on and talk to you guys a little bit about Jaden Spicer and some of the latest information I found out about him. Now that the kids are acclimating back to school, I can really get into the rhythm of doing, the shows. And I want to do a couple really quick shows because I have to break through this algorithm. And we all know that when it comes to the missing kids locally, I can't help but discuss their cases and make sure that their names are out there because unfortunately there's so many missing persons that we just cannot do all of them. But some of them, sometimes it's about the one and not about the many. If we don't focus on that, we won't be able to accomplish anything. I know I get a lot of feedback from people that don't understand, why so many people only focused on Sebastian Rogers or Michael Monkey Vaughn or Summer Wells or, so many of these missing person cases and horrible, disappearances. But it's because we can only do what we can do. And Jaden Spicer, I started to learn about immediately because I knew somebody in the area. Now that I live in Tennessee, I'm actually work in Kentucky. And his case is heartbreaking. It's a week that he's been gone. I'm actually going to that area on Friday and I'm gonna, go see if there's anything, maybe putting some flyers up or anything that I can do to help. In the meantime, I appreciate all of you for being here. It is going to be a little loud in the background. This isn't going to be that long, but I will come on later tonight and it will be a longer live. And I'm hoping to work all these kinks out. I'm going to start incorporating Streamlabs and see if that helps with moderation. As going forward, we will be blocking everybody and not addressing any of the trolling activity. So don't have to worry about that. I did have an instance last time that I was live, and I did allow that for purposes that cannot be discussed on the live stream. But it is momming it up during the day, and I had the therapist here, and that means you're going to hear littles in the background. And I'm very grateful to hear them. So if it bothers you, then you're not going to want to listen. But they are running around with their therapists, and that's something that we've always prayed for when you have a child with profound nonverbal autism. Mama, how are you? And Deanna and Lady Freedom, thank you so much for having me up last night. I really enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed talking to Lisa. That was so nice that Lisa came on and Kiki came on. It was a really great live. I appreciated being a part of it. And I think you're going on this afternoon. So when you're up, let me know and I'll hop on down. So when we get into this with Jayden Spicer, I'm going to try to put this up on the screen for you. Just one moment. There is a reward fund that is being put out there, a GoFundMe by the aunt and another gentleman. So I'm going to we're going to put this up on the screen really quickly, and then I'll give you a little context if you haven't heard about Jayden Spicer, the 10-year-old missing from Kentucky.
Jayden Spicer. So far, the GoFundMe has raised more than $2,000.
Okay, this is my disclaimer. This is under fair use. This is a discussion. We do fall under the legalities of In My Opinion, and we ask that you be kind and considerate when sharing yours in the chat and go along with the terms of service on YouTube. All credit for what we are about to watch goes to WTVQ, but this is a public active missing persons case, and I will be sharing the latest updates on this very sensitive and time-sensitive urgent disappearance of Jayden Spicer.
This morning, a GoFundMe account has been set up for a cash reward in the search for a missing 10-year-old boy in Breathitt County. According to organizers, the money will be given to the person who finds 10-year-old Jayden Spicer. So far, the GoFundMe has raised more than $2,000. A second reward is also being offered. Papal Missionary of Mercy priest Father Jim Sichko is offering a $1,500 cash reward for the child's safe return. Meanwhile, today marks 1 week since Jayden was last seen at his home on Panbull Branch Road in Jackson. According to his family, the child was wearing Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas around 9 last Tuesday night when they last saw him. State police say the child was reported missing the next morning. Crews have been using drones, sonar, helicopters in the search for Jayden.
So there's 2 rewards, and I'm going to let you hear a little bit from one of the people that have posted these rewards, but I think, let me just replay that one part. I put the name in the chat. I think he said it was June. Let me see.
A second reward is also being offered. So far, the GoFundMe has raised more than $2,000. A second reward is also being offered. Papal Missionary of Mercy priest Father Jim Sichko is offering a $1,500 cash reward for the child's safe return. Meanwhile, today marks 1 week since Jayden.
So this was the latest that was given to us. I will get the GoFundMe and we will read it together in a moment. I just wanted to get some of these interviews out of the way. It's really startling that it's a whole week and there doesn't seem to be anything new coming out that's breaking. But the GoFundMe and the reward that the community is coming together and raising, for any information on Jayden. Let me just take this off the screen real quick. Sorry about that. Let's go on over and look at this one other, over to the GoFundMe. Okay. What do you guys feel about GoFundMe's and things like that when you're trying to locate a missing child? Do you think that they're helpful to start immediately, or do you think that they're not a good thing? I know there's a lot of conflicting, information and professional opinions on that. So this is another latest update that's coming from Wave 3. And this is a little bit from the state senator and some of the family.
Looking for a stress-free car buying experience? At
Hold
Coil,
on.
we take the time to understand your
We don't need to hear the ad. I know. We've been praying, that's for sure. But I do think it's a good thing to see these rewards, in my opinion, because, oh, here we go. Let's listen to this real quick.
For a missing 10-year-old out of Breathitt County. Police say his family last saw him as he went to bed last Tuesday night, and by Wednesday morning, he was gone.
Well, now the search includes a Kentucky state senator. Tonight, I sat down with Senator Brandon Smith about the ongoing efforts to bring this little boy home in our top story at 10. It has been nearly a week, and no one in the Panbowl Branch Road area of Breathitt County has seen Jayden Spicer.
I know it's tough for me because I have little ones. I mean,
State Senator Brandon Smith is one of several searching for the little boy missing in an area he represents.
Jayden.
Senator Smith sharing new videos with us of some of the places he spent Sunday searching for the little boy, looking through rundown and abandoned homes.
When you call into a house and you're calling this little boy's name, Jayden, and you're looking and you're not sure what you're going to find.
It is heartbreaking work looking through trash piles and hoping to find any clue, Senator Smith says, as to where Jayden might be. His search included dump sites off the beaten path.
I do think people need to see that so that they don't go back to those sites. I've already been through those garbage piles. I've flipped that stuff over. I've gone in those cellars and those empty houses.
Smith says for those thinking of joining the search, make sure you stay vigilant.
Listen, because it could just be a faint voice of somebody crying, I'm here. So be aware, be careful, don't get on people's property. Be sure that if you run into something of significance that you go to the proper authorities.
Smith praised the work of the Kentucky State Police and their efforts.
See, that's something. Whoops, here we go again. Hold on.
He says he's not talked with Jayden's family, but wants them to know he will continue searching.
Jayden.
And he can't imagine what they're going through.
We're going to continue to search for this little guy and get him home.
Well, Jayden was last seen wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. He's about 5 feet tall. Father Jim is offering a $1,500 reward for anyone who helps with his return. There is also a GoFundMe tonight that Jayden's aunt has started, raising money to add to the cash reward. $2,100 has already been raised there. If you know where Jayden is, you are asked to contact the number that you see there on your screen.
Blue calls tails.
I'm going to pull up the GoFundMe reward. That's something that always concerns me too, is that sometimes people are afraid to contact authorities, and sometimes people don't realize, and they could hear something and they might dismiss it as an animal, or they might be walking and not understanding how to do it properly. Oh, you guys are cutting through. Have fun. Gonna pull up the GoFundMe now. I'm wondering if this is the same aunt that Jayden had been staying with. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for stopping by. So here is the GoFundMe. I will put the link in chat for anybody that's interested in helping with this or wants to see it. Let's see. So it says the fundraiser. Does it say who? Oh, the organizer is Samantha Brunke, and that's from Jackson, Kentucky. Jeffrey Turner was the first donor with $500 donation. And then Kenny Broughton donated $500. That's really helpful for this reward. If it really could incentivize somebody, if they do feel like there's rugs or something, or somebody's afraid, um, you know, you would think that everybody would just do it automatically out of the kindness of their hearts and having a conscience. If you ever think that you have some information. But I think there's one thing that I've realized ever since really looking into some of these cases is that that's just not the way it is. Some people just don't have one at all, and others can have fear involved because we don't really know what's going on. Now I have pictures of him. I'll put this one up bigger on the screen in a moment. So this says that our hearts are breaking and need our little Jayden home. This GoFundMe is for a cash award for anyone that can produce any whereabouts of Jayden Spicer to close this case. To close this case. To collect the reward, the person has to close the case and bring Jayden home. Jeff Turner started an award on Facebook for anyone who can produce Jayden so we can have him home. We greatly I'm going to reread this, guys, because they're playing in the hall. Because you know that one of my skill sets is keywording, and one of the things that I always said I was a blessing and a curse is that I can always understand people, and I always try to understand why people do things, and and I'm trying not to be rude when I say this, but this is my channel and this is my opinion, and it might come across harshly, but I do not like the way that this is worded. I don't like the keywording here. I think it's really suspicious. I'm sure that there'll be other people that will discuss this. I'm positive that Mike Damon or, certain statement analysis are going to talk about this because anyway, let me know what you're thinking in the chat. So it says again, our hearts are breaking and need our little Jayden home. This GoFundMe is for a cash award for anyone that can produce any whereabouts of Jayden Spicer to close this case. To collect the reward, the person has to close the case and bring Jayden home. Jeff Turner started a award on Facebook for anyone who can produce Jayden so we can have him home. We greatly appreciate everyone's efforts, and we are continuing our search and working with K9 and KSP. Keep our family in your prayers, especially Jayden. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to say is that obviously you want to bring Jayden home. I just think that sometimes when we were listening to the ants talking and the bigger picture surrounding his disappearance, that some of this terminology is kind of strange to me. It's like they're more concerned with a case than they are with, I don't know, I don't know. I'm trying really hard to not be rude and judgy. I can't imagine what they're going through, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Or maybe a third party wrote this for them, and maybe the aunt didn't write it. So what I'm a little confused about is, and maybe we'll find it in the next news clip, who started this one, or is there two? Because I only saw this one. I didn't see two, and the way that this is sounds like it was started. It's very interesting. Let's come over here and do another update on, let's see what they have to say in this one, in this little update and the news brief. Just one moment. Okay, it's finally loading. I think this is where Jeffrey Turner
I
talks.
started noticing in the classroom that I was having trouble hearing my students.
Well, we got to get those ads in there first. It's always the ads. Always the ads. Hi, Trishy. How are you? Thanks for being here. This is why I enjoy reading the articles, because these ads, I tell you. And here it is.
Mother says she last saw him nearly a week ago in Breathitt County. Tonight, I spoke with a man in the community organizing a reward for whoever can find the 10-year-old. It's your big story at 11.
You may look and find nothing, but at the same time, you may look and find everything.
6 days of searching and no sign of 10-year-old Jayden Spicer. Jeff Turner of Jackson is calling on the community to help bring him home.
Search your surroundings. If you have property that's near where Jayden left, search, with everything in you, make sure that he's not on your property. If you have some property that you don't go to very often, now's the time to go to that property and just look.
Turner says he has a child around the same age as Jayden, and when he heard Jayden had gone missing, felt called to do what he could to help. He began by personally offering a $500 cash reward to anyone who could locate Jayden and bring him home. But shortly afterward, others banded together to donate, creating a GoFundMe that's raised more than $2,000. It's as search efforts in Breathitt County's harsh terrain are becoming desperate. Officials utilizing every resource like drones, sonar, canines, and crews searching the area on foot. Still no Jayden.
A young child can only survive so long in these conditions. I mean, it's really hot out today. And if this child doesn't have water, how many days can he survive?
Investigators say Jayden was last seen wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. Turner says the missing child has shaken the community.
It's really it's hard to explain because this stuff doesn't happen in small communities like this. A missing child like this is something that you hear about from large cities and never somewhere small like Jackson, Kentucky.
So I guess that's the gentleman that started the GoFundMe. And credit is to Lex18. Is the background music too loud for you guys, or can you hear everything okay, even with the background music? So let's go over a little bit about Jayden and the timeline that we have to away from Jackson, Breathitt County, Kentucky. He went missing from his home on Panville Branch Road between the night of August 5th, 2025 and the early morning of August 6th. He was last seen, according to his mom, and now this is all allegedly, besides what we're hearing on the news. So I'm just going to put that out there just in case, because I don't know. Like they said, it was the overnight hours, and allegedly, according to local news sources, it was by his mother, and it was around 9 p.m. He was wearing a blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. Jayden is a white male, approximately 5'1", with a slim build and blonde hair, blue eyes. The Kentucky State Police, Post 13 and Hazard, is leading an extensive search and investigation. They've been utilizing drones, sonar, canines, helicopters, ground teams, and have been covering over 20 square miles. As of today, August 12th, Jayden remains missing, and the investigation has broadened beyond the initial search area. A buried firearm has been found near the residence and was raising alarm bells and questions. Its relevance to this case is not confirmed at this time, but there has been a buried firearm that was found near the residence. So that's pretty concerning that they found a buried firearm. So today has been exactly 1 week. If you have any information that could help, nothing is too small, anything whatsoever. Authorities are asking that you please call them and report the tips to KSP Post 13, which is area code 606-435-6069. One of the newest one of the newest developments that we have is this buried firearm that was discovered near the Spicer residence. It has prompted speculation more now in the in the realm of foul play. However, KSP has still not confirmed any connections to Jayden's disappearance and this firearm that was located. The investigation is led by Detective Nathan Wark. He remains active on this case. KSP continues to emphasize that all resources are being utilized. The mother gave a statement out on August 7th by hand. It was a handwritten plea. Her name is Felicia. It was Felicia Spicer. And the stepfather is Gross. So some of the information is saying Felicia Gross, and some of it says Felicia Spicer. And it says on this note, we love Jayden and we want him safe at home. Please, if anybody sees my son, Jayden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him very much. Please do the right thing. Call police. Please pray for us and my son, Jayden. Thank you. A little background here is Felicia, Jayden's mother, and the primary family member referenced in the official reports says that he was last seen by her at 9 o'clock the previous night. She does have a pretty interesting, unsettling criminal history, according to multiple sources, including News Channel 2 Now. Report that Felicia has a prior charge related to child endangerment. The history has drawn a lot of public attention, speculation about does it have any relevance to Jayden's case. There hasn't been any confirmation, but Felicia has requested publicly, I guess, through authorities and different media outlets that she wants privacy and she does not want to be in the public eye. I just can't imagine that your child's missing. I wouldn't care what's said about me. I wouldn't care how I look. I would just be begging anybody and everybody that I could to share his information, because you never know who it might end up, coming across that may have that one little clue that can help investigators bring him home or solve what happened to him, and bring justice. What's really unsettling, I think, as if any of this it's all unsettling, was the fact that Jayden had been living with his mama, his grandma, and a few months ago, Jayden's grandma had passed away, and the aunt and her children that were living there with them had taken care of him and then decided she couldn't handle it anymore, it seems like, and brought him to his mother's home. So that's pretty concerning. It's pretty concerning that if this mom had these charges, was she allowed to be around kids? Was there actually an active investigation or any open cases with a caseworker in her life? I tend to think that there wasn't, because if there was, it usually takes a long time with family court to switch custody and things. I tend to believe that there probably wasn't any open cases and that it was just more of a physical custody, and nothing was, set in stone documented that she couldn't have Jayden. And that's why it was able to happen where the aunt could just drop him off, allegedly, I think, what was it, like 3 weeks ago? There's been a lot of rumors and speculations from friends and extended family of theirs on Facebook saying that he had actually not been seen since July 3rd or July 4th. So I'm waiting how exactly law enforcement was able to confirm that the mother and stepfather, I believe the stepfather as well, did actually see him. Was it by neighbors? Was it ring cams? Was it footage? But I do believe that they are giving us the best information, right? They are searching, they're doing everything possible. So they're going to have the information that they feel confident that Jayden was in that area around that time. And so that's what I'm going to go with for now, myself personally. But I can understand why so many are speculating. What if he disappeared a couple weeks ago? But I guess we'll find out a lot more as time goes on about this. Jayden does have siblings. There was 3 other boys at the residence with his mother and stepfather. And I think, we can all imagine what it must be like to lose your grandma. That's been your mama, right? And then you're thrust from being with grandma, your aunt, and girls to a mom, a bio mom, a stepdad, and a bunch of boys. So I can't imagine what he's gone through with this kind of transition, that would make a child, want to run away or, I don't know. But there was rumors that this mom had attempted to sell one of her children, and that does happen, as we know. Sadly, a lot of people that get messed up with rugs and stuff, there is instances where you find out that they have or did attempt to sell a child. So hearing all these different speculations and things, this does not look good for Jayden, and it's really heartbreaking. Now we have information on the stepfather. This is where a lot of implications are coming from of foul play being placed on the mother, is because of all of this stuff from the past and the reports that keep coming out on social media from friends and extended family of theirs. And then we have information on the stepfather, Joshua Gross, and his last name is actually Gross. He's 38. He's the stepfather. He was identified in a video that was put out by JLR. The only source at this time in video context that mentions all of this stuff right now is JLR. And he just discusses a little bit about his past, his court records, and things like that were associated to the stepfather. And that's really concerning, right? And then we have the aunts. We have the aunts that did the interview on Friday before the prayer vigil, and the grandmother that passed away. There's other family, on social media. Then we have the GoFundMes, and there's the allegations of abuse that are also, alleged towards the stepfather. And statistically speaking, we do know that the step-parents in homes with children that are not biologically theirs, a lot of times they are, it doesn't end up being good. They're usually at a higher percentage of abuse and things like that. Now, of course, there's many, many, many amazing step-parents, just like there are foster parents and guardians and adoption. And, we have amazing caregivers in this world. But statistically speaking, in these circumstances, having a stepfather in the home is an increased risk factor that does come into play. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of misinformation, and you have to really vet your sources, right? You have to, thoroughly check things and be cautious when you're taking all of this in, because we do know that sometimes people just like to inject themselves into cases. They want the attention, and they'll just post things or try to call, or, it's a bizarre attribute that does go on. And that's why I'm, hesitant with some of the speculating, but I do feel that that GoFundMe was worded in a very odd manner. I think that it was, the key wording was very odd. He's 10 years old. Okay, let's listen in on another update that's coming from Annie Brown.
This is Jayden Spicer. His mother says she last saw him nearly a week ago in Breathitt County. Tonight, I spoke with a man in the community organizing a reward for whoever can find the 10-year-old. It's your big story at 11.
You may look and find nothing, but at the same time, you may look and find everything.
6 days of searching and no sign of 10-year-old Jayden Spicer. Jeff Turner of Jackson is calling on the community to help bring him home.
Search your surroundings. If you have property that's near where Jayden lived, search, with everything in you, make sure that he's not on your property. If you have some property that you don't go to very often, now's the time to go to that property and just look.
Turner says he has a child around the same age as Jayden, and when he heard Jayden had gone missing, felt called to do what he could to help. He began by personally offering a $500 cash reward to anyone who could locate Jayden and bring him home. But shortly afterward, others banded together to donate, creating a GoFundMe that's raised more than $2,000. It's as search efforts in Breathitt County's harsh terrain are becoming desperate. Officials utilizing every resource like drones, sonar, canines, and crews searching the area on foot. Still no Jayden.
A young child can only survive so long in these conditions. I mean, it's really hot out today. And if this child doesn't have water, how many days can he survive?
Investigators say Jayden was last seen wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. Turner says the missing child has shaken the community.
It's really it's hard to explain because this stuff doesn't happen in small communities like this. You know, a missing child like this is something that you hear about from large cities and never somewhere small like Jackson, Kentucky.
So, Trishy, from what I've been able to gather online about the living arrangements, was that he had been living with his great grandmother prior to her passing. And after her death, he moved in with his mom, Felicia. And from what it seems like the siblings, I'm trying to see what my notes have on that because it says that there's other credible sources mentioned residing with Jayden at his mother's home. There's been no official reports, that are officially state whether he is with the siblings at the aunt's house or whether they were with his mom the entire time. So, I mean, maybe in the next clip where the aunts talk again, we might be able to pick up on a little something, but an actual confirmation on it, I can't give that at this time. I'd have to really go over everything again. It doesn't seem to be. It seems like the aunts could handle the girls. So maybe there was one or two of the sisters there. I'd have to double check on that because there's been so many random stories about that. It's kind of similar to the information that's come out about the bio dad, that he actually allegedly had charges of bestiality and different things of that nature. And he, as far as it seems at this time, there's no information coming from him or his family that they were involved in Jayden's life or that they've been making any kind of attempt to help with his search. Yeah, he's just a community member. They're not saying that he's a family member. He was there right in the beginning. Kind of reminds me of that one guy that was a pastor that was right here in the beginning of Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. He was, he was on different shows. He had allegedly had a daughter that went to middle school with Sebastian, and he was saying that, Sebastian had asked people to put him in a garbage pail at school as a joke and had started, he was the one that started the speculations. He called in to a show called T-Rev, I think it was T-Rev 757, saying that according to his daughter, he told his classmates he wanted to run into the woods and all kinds of things. And then the same guy was claiming to be a pastor, and then he had these protests of, stuff against Sebastian's stepdad, Christopher Proudfoot. And they had all these signs and posters, about repent Chris Proudfoot. So it's kind of interesting, but that's a little bit of what I was reminded when I think of, oh, here's another person that just comes out of left field. Not that it's any way, shape, or form even remotely similar, but it is intriguing when it's just random community members that are the ones that are so outspoken. And it makes you wonder, like, why are these people so interested? Are they just, really loving people? Or are they closer to the family? Do they feel some sort of guilt because they might have known the child was struggling and they didn't report that, he was put into an environment that may not have been, good for him? Was Jayden getting any kind of grievance counseling? Or, It's just interesting. So I wonder that as well. And I'm sure we'll find out about it relatively soon. Now, the officer Gayhart, I'm just looking for his recent update on Jayden's disappearance. Because like he was saying, time is of the essence and they're not going to give up. They're not going to stop until they find him. I concur, Trishie. I concur. Let's see. Trying to pull up the aunt's interview. So this is a post from the Kentucky State Police talking about it, but this is 3 days ago, so this isn't the right one. But they do ask everybody to send the tips in, see what they put in today, see if there's anything updated today. I don't know why it always does that. That's so frustrating. Let me just check one other place. Let's see. Oh, look, it looks like that Hartsfield McCoy Museum Adventures is already on their way to Kentucky to try to join in the search. I remember them from Sebastian's case, and I don't see any news outlets. I see there's a bunch of YouTubers. Let's see. There's me. Astrology for Mystics Jen. Oh, let's hear what she has to say. Astrology for Mystics Jen. I'll drop her link in the chat.
Jayden Spicer, 10 years old, has been missing from his home in Kentucky since August 5th, 2025. He was last seen allegedly around 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th, wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajama pants and a matching shirt. There has been an extensive search by the Kentucky State Police. Local search and rescue teams are still ongoing looking for Jayden, and still no leads. The rugged terrain, the water searches, nothing has led to any evidence of Jayden. Police were told that he left his home on Panhandle Branch Road in Jackson, Kentucky, either in the overnight hours to early morning. Authorities continue to investigate all possibilities in his disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call the Kentucky State Police at 606-435-6069. Let's look at his astrological map. I've started Jayden's astrological map from the point of disappearance, which is his home. And the green lines are the missing, and the blue is the state of Kentucky. What I like to do is see where they meet up, see what's happening. When he went missing, allegedly, Saturn, Neptune were opposing Mars and Libra. And this angle, this opposition is going straight south with Mars. The state of Kentucky, their moon was being opposed by Mars in Libra. Their moon is in Aries.
I don't really understand all
This
this
is where
stuff,
they
but
learn
I know a lot of people do.
about things with their 7th house relationships with government workers. This is a transfer station in Jackson. I also want to show you that the same line is where we have the Gross Family Cemetery. Those are two places that worry me. I've also marked a transfer station in another place in Kentucky here as well. And here as well, this is the landfill in Laurel Ridge. Here is the landfill in Letcher. And here are the mini SOs. This one just so happens to have the last name of Gross. But these SOs, these offenders, concern me as well because I'm not sure who all the parents knew. I don't think that this SO who has the last name of Gross is any family to Joshua Gross, the stepdad of Jayden Spicer, but I'm not sure because all of the Kentucky state lines are going over these SOs. I imagine that the state of Kentucky has checked them out or is checking them out. Going in closer, I want you to see just how close some of these offenders are. This one is about a quarter of a mile, a little over a mile, 3 miles. I do know that the family cemetery is on Stray Branch Road, but I could not find the exact location, so I've just marked it on Stray Branch Road. But the Gross Family Cemetery is definitely, most definitely connected to Joshua's family. In fact, you can look on Google for Clay Gross and find his obituary and that he was buried at the Gross Family Cemetery. And that obituary does have Joshua Gross and Felicia in the obituary. So I just wanted to make a quick video just to show you guys that I am definitely working this map. I hope that he is found very soon. I know that the state of Kentucky does have a lot that is coming to fruition with this case. I just hope it's today. I hope he is found alive, and what I'm looking at with this map is only the darker side of the possibilities that could be bringing this boy home safe and sound. I appreciate you joining me. As always, please like, subscribe, share, all that good jazzy junk. And until next time, peace out.
I put her link in the chat. Well, that's interesting. You know, this is why it's all speculation and in our opinion. And, you know, it's all alleged. But I do recall also when the beginning of Sebastian's disappearance, you guys that have been here since the start, remember all the TikTok videos where they were going through the cemetery right there next to Sebastian's house? I think it was Riley Lively. It was one of them that was over in the cemetery. And I can't remember that other searcher's name. But yeah, there was that cemetery right by where Sebastian Rogers disappeared in the beginning of his disappearance as well, that a lot of people speculated about. There was even that video that Riley Lively had put out where, you know, it looked, whether it was eye matrixing or edited or AI or whatever it was, that it almost looked like there was somebody, you know, unalive in the shrubbery. I remember that in April. after Sebastian disappeared. So it's kind of concerning when you hear about these missing kids cases. And obviously, a lot of times our minds automatically, put patterns together and associate things together. And I don't know, it's really sounding concerning if the stepdad has these different types of connections to stuff. I mean, my thing is there rugs involved, D and rugs? I mean, what is the reason here that it seemed like their home wasn't very cared for, right? The windows and different things in the home, because people can live in trailers and RVs and, have a different lifestyle, and that doesn't mean anything. But when you see that they're kind of, not kept, and then you hear that this guy is supposedly, well off, makes you, kind of wonder, like, if that's really true, then where is it going? Or is it not true because the family, because sometimes you can be related to people. It doesn't mean that, they're close to you like that. And sometimes you have parents and grandparents that are very well off, and it doesn't mean that they do the same for their kin. I've noticed that a lot, that people automatically assume that, but that's not always the case. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure. I know when you're from certain areas, you have your entire families in these areas, right? So you're going to have roads with the same names, and it can mean, that there's a million grosses in, in America, right? So I'm not sure about that. But I understand why we speculate in all different ways, because it's good. Discussion is healthy, and you never know if it might come across someone that might have some sort of a clue that they need to call into authorities that could help solve, his disappearance. Now, when we go back to the GoFundMe, did you get to see the GoFundMe, Trishy? I thought that was very interesting, the wording of the GoFundMe. Really don't understand why it was worded the way that it was worded. Now, let's see. No, that's not it. There's one more update. Is this it? Okay, here we go. I found it. I'll get it for you. Now, this is the update that I was talking about from the Trooper Gayhart, or Officer Gayhart. I'm probably saying it wrong. Hey, this is under fair use. This all credit goes to Fox 56 News.
We will search for him until we locate him. End of story.
What happened to Jayden Spicer? The question remains, but Kentucky State Police troopers say they are determined to find out.
We are not leaving anything out. We've not been able to mark anything off the list, so the avenue of investigation is still wide open, and we're investigating from a lot of different angles.
Investigators say Spicer vanished last Wednesday and was last seen in blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. Authorities have expanded their search using every resource available, but so far, no luck.
We need all the help that we can get, and we urge anybody that has any information, no matter how small it may seem, that may be beneficial in our investigation.
Community members are holding out hope, even starting a GoFundMe campaign on Monday to offer reward money for his safe return. Many people have already pledged support online.
It's not just my money, it's the community's money. We're a collective group here trying to come together to bring Jayden home. So any amount that is enough for someone to speak out is very good by me.
Jeff Turner started the effort alongside Spicer's aunt, saying they're heartbroken and refuse to give up until Jayden is home.
Until we find out otherwise, I'm going to keep continuing to try to search and hope and pray that we see Jayden again.
So far, the fundraiser has raised more than $2,000.
So there's two.
You can find a link to that on our website,
I
fox56news.com. In Jackson, Allie
I
Ray,
posted it
Fox
in
56
chat.
News.
I posted the link in chat for the GoFundMe if you want to go read the keywording. I thought was very interesting. I'm not quite sure, why it was worded the way that it was worded.
Residents gathered with signs
Oh,
and loud
hold
chants
on.
trying to get the attention of a representative they say isn't doing enough.
Oh,
Paul
why is this
Schwartz
still
has the
going?
story.
Now, there was a clip from Justin, Clutch Them Pearls, that I was going to play, where he talked about Jayden Spicer. But first, I'm going to get into JLR Investigates. Now, JLR Investigates, he really gets down to the nitty gritty on a lot of these cases. And I really enjoy the way that he goes about his research. The way he does his independent investigative journalism is a lot like how I enjoy doing it, and I know a lot of people don't always like the in your face, hearing people's, skeletons in the closet and stuff. But when there's smoke, usually there's fire. And when it comes to children that are missing, I just think that, speaking and talking and getting their name out there supersedes all of that. And he had shared a video that I had made on the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, and that was very kind of him. So all this credit goes to JLR Investigates. I'm going to just let you hear a little bit about what he had to say about the stepdad. Just one moment, and I'll put the link in the chat.
Breaking news, 10-year-old Jayden.
WKYT's Phil Pendleton, our top story at 6.
There are many questions along Panbow Branch Road in Breathitt County.
There's some stuff that just doesn't add up in this case.
Police say they were told that Jayden went to bed Tuesday night but was missing on Wednesday morning.
And as two aunts and mothers, we've questioned a lot of the information ourselves.
State police say numerous search crews have combed the woods and hilly areas, even using sonar underwater. There's been no solid leads, but they say they are leaving no stone unturned and looking into every possibility.
He's a good boy. He's very sweet and loving. He is very hyperactive.
He likes to be on the go
24/7.
They say that he would never venture out in the dark and try to climb the rugged terrain that surrounds his home.
He does not like insects at all.
Or the dark.
Them looking up in the hills, any child can go anywhere, but it just seems so unreal that he would go up there.
They say Jayden can be hyperactive and that can be difficult to deal with. They say this has been almost too much for them to handle.
Tore up, shocked,
heartbroken,
confused, don't know if we're coming and going, don't know where to start.
Numerous Breathitt County agencies were looking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Some help coming from out of county expected Friday afternoon. Breathitt County, Phil Pendleton, WKY.
And search crews have looked high and low near.
Now, last night, Lisa B. Always had come up on Ladies' panel, and she shared with us that the lady on the left looks like it was the aunt that had cared for Jayden when the great-grandma, Mima, had passed away recently. And that would mean she is the one that ultimately gave him back to his biological mom, Felicia. Allegedly, and in my opinion. I do also want to just talk a little bit briefly about the fact that, Trishy, I echo exactly what you were saying, that there seems to be these disappearances and missing children's cases that are becoming almost like endemic. It seems to be pretty, obvious that there's something with the way that these cases are either managed or handled, or I'm not quite sure. In Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Indiana, these are areas that the cases far supersede the statistics of the similar circumstances in other states. They just don't fit, and they almost, last night we were discussing a little bit in ladies chat, it almost feels like there is a how-to book that is out there somewhere that these parents are able to get after they've made a mistake and foul harm, foul play had occurred, or it's something that they planned beforehand, right? It really seems overwhelmingly that there's something just so not okay with these cases, and they're in lockstep. There's too many similarities. But the similarity that should not be accepted, in my opinion, is the fact that they remain missing. Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, the whole Michael Monkey Vaughn situation. I mean, there's so many of these cases, and I know those are just the recent cases that have been discussed so much, but there are so many, and I will be doing different shows now when the kids are going to be actually in school in the classroom during the week, because there is so many cases that if you just go to the TBI in Tennessee or Indiana or Kentucky and Arkansas, it's shocking, in my opinion. It's downright shocking, and it doesn't need to be this way. Whatever it is that is causing these police departments to be in above their heads and not feel confident enough, or a DA to not feel confident enough in charging, or, is it people getting bought off and paid off more easily? We've discussed that. I mean, when I had my human services, my associates classes, and I did that internship at a DSS, there was people that it was rumored that they would be paid off in different ways, because some of these jobs are low pay starter jobs. And some people just, they don't have a heart. But is that the same within some of these local law enforcement careers? Because they're desperate for hires. The pay is really minimal in terms of, what the cost of living actually is. The cost of living seems to far supersede some of the most, intense jobs that we have. And are they getting paid off to look the other way, or what is it?
How many members are starting to call?
Or is it multiple things?
Breaking.
Just one moment. My computer's whacking out here.
Branch Road near Jackson. It's in Breathitt County.
WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to some relatives who are questioning.
And is there hope that he's still alive?
My honest opinion is something's happened to that child, and it's broke my heart, because somebody would have found something by now. I'm praying for the Lord to show us, he's okay, or to find him, but in my mind, it's just a recovery.
The blonde-haired, blue-eyed 10-year-old was last seen around 9 p.m. on August 5th wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas. He reportedly went missing from his home in the area of Panbull Branch Road in Jackson either overnight or in the early hours of Wednesday morning.
Upon arrival of units on scene, they immediately began a search of the immediate area, followed by a larger scale search that's been followed out in conjunction with Breathitt County Emergency Management, along with multiple search and rescue teams.
As day 3 of the search comes to a close, KSP says they've exhausted all resources at their disposal, and they've decided to expand the search beyond the area of Panbull Branch.
Unfortunately, we've not been able to locate a lot of evidence suggesting that he would be close by. So unfortunately, we're kind of at the same spot we were when we started the search.
KSP sent Fox 56 a picture of this note written by Jayden's mother asking for prayers for her family and her son. Tonight, the community came together at the Panbull Church to do just that.
I just hope and pray he's found. But I'm really afraid we're not going to find him.
We must continue hope, but unfortunately, at this point, where we're at in the investigation, it's a race against the clock. We're essentially at kind of our last leg. We need to locate him immediately.
Anyone with information that may help in the search is encouraged to contact Kentucky State Police. They say they're taking all possibilities relating to his disappearance into consideration.
All right, people are also talking about the stepdad and know him personally and personal experiences that he had around children. One person here, Christina McIntosh, says, Riley Fike, not just the mom, the stepdad too. The stepdad used to be married to my not biological son's mother. He abused our son when he was 8 years old, choked him, etc., and body slammed him on the couch one night. We had to go to court to get an emergency protective order against the husband. Our son is now 24, but he still remembers everything. Whoa. So Mr. Cross here, Josh Cross, has been in trouble before in reference to, doing things to children. What is up with this guy? All right, this is the public Facebook profile of Joshua Gross, the stepdad of Jayden Spicer. He was living in the same house as Jayden Spicer with Felicia Gross, a.k.a. Felicia Spicer, and he's the stepfather. You heard his voice speaking with Felicia, and this is his public Facebook profile. Now, the very first thing I notice here is he has a Facebook, hasn't posted anything since 2018, but has posted nothing about his stepson being missing. This is him right here. Joshua Gross, been in trouble with the law numerous times in the past. There has been accusations against him of doing things with another child. So it says here he's working for himself. Breathitt County High School, Campton, Kentucky, Jackson, Kentucky. A little bit about.
You know, Trishy, people have had all those rumors on Reddit and things for years, and nothing would shock me anymore. Nothing would shock me anymore. Not at all.
About him. Where was he during that time, Tuesday night into Wednesday, or days before little Jayden was reported missing? Where was he? Where was he? Where was he? And how come he's not speaking out about his stepson being missing? How come he's not out there searching with all the volunteers, blood, sweat, and tears, volunteers out there risking their own life, going through the terrain, Campbell Branch Road, going through the wooded terrain, volunteers, EquiSearch, authorities, drones, canines? How come he's not out there? Looks like he's an able-bodied individual, right? Looks like he's physically fit and he could go out there and search. Why isn't he out there searching? My sources tell me he hasn't been out there searching. Doesn't speak about his step to a recovery of
Another thing that was said was that Felicia, goes to the McDonald's every single morning, and she stopped going to the McDonald's now and she goes to the Wendy's. So I was going to swing by there when I go down. Because, you know, people love to talk, right? We're all talkers. Everybody loves to talk. Everybody loves to talk. So be interesting to hear what they have to say, because I mean, here we go again with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. Does this ring a bell? Remember when they said they didn't want to talk to any media at this time? And they gave that statement to police and to the news in the beginning. And then, you know, you don't know how you're going to react. I get all of that. Maybe it's because they're being interrogated all day and they're in and out of, you know, the police stations, or hopefully the children, the siblings that were in that home are being, you know, they have a psychologist that's trained for children so that they can talk to them and get any information that they may have. But in lieu of finding out that there was a firearm buried in the yard near the home, and all of this surrounding this, the foul play meter is getting extensive, right? Or guilty knowledge of knowing exactly what happened. And I really want to know more about the allegations that the mom tried to sell another one of the children. And is that where the child endangerment charge came from? Did that happen because she actually got caught trying to sell a child and they were able to intercept that? Thank God. And then, you know, it just makes you wonder, how did she have children? Was she supposed to have children in her care? Did this fall through the cracks like so often happens, where people do give, you know, physical custody sometimes to family members and things like that, and they don't go to the courts. They just give it to a family member. I don't know. Have a fun time, Trishy. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for stopping by. The aunts are the sisters of the mom, I believe. They're the mother's sisters. And they had lived with the great grandma of Jayden, which would have been their grandma.
A little boy. Does he have trucks? What does he drive? And people vouch for him. I haven't heard anyone vouch for it. None of the family members. Some of the family members are starting to call it out. Some of the family members are starting to call it out. Did this guy here, is he responsible in any way for the disappearance of this little boy? Look at him. How long has he been involved in Jayden's life? They're all living under the same roof, right? These are some old pics, but one thing, don't see nothing about him with Felicia, and I don't see nothing with him with this little boy. And apparently he has lots of children from different babies' moms, apparently, and I don't see any pictures of any children. What's up? He just doesn't care? Does he not care? Let me know what you think. This is his Facebook.
Yeah, very interesting that the Facebook that you could see, because he could still have Facebook and it's just not public, right? Where you can't see him unless he requests you. And that's from like 7 years ago. And there was no pictures of children or anything. So that is interesting. A lot of times, most people, you know, you share pictures. It's just a whole new world, right? With the internet and social media, which is why safety is such a big thing to try to discuss on how do we stay safe living in such a different period in time. Now I want to just put on something that Justin from Clutch Them Pearls had about Jayden Spicer. Let me see. We can pull that up. Oh, my algorithm is so messed up. It's unbelievable how this algorithm thing is unbelievable. Okay, that's a whole nother case, Giovanni. I was just talking to my cousin that, is in Miami, in Dade County, in Florida. We were just actually talking about this whole case with this poor young man. I mean, that is a whole, I can't even imagine. I mean, these cousins, whoever with him getting out of the car, I'm sure they're probably going to be arrested. I mean, in my opinion, it just does not make any sense that you would make one call like that to the mother and you wouldn't be calling 911. I mean, really, that just does not make sense to me at all. Where is the one that I had over here about Jayden? Here it is.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. 10-year-old.
Now, I know Justin is familiar with the Appalachia. He's talked about that in the past. So I found it interesting to listen to his perspective on this. A lot of times when you live local to certain things, it's not as, you don't really get as much information online as you do from just talking, And down south, in the South here, everybody talks. That is for sure. You just open your mouth. Everybody's always willing to sit there and have a conversation. And it's just a really nice environment. Even with where, along the Appalachia, most people are great people, right? They're not bad people. And it's disheartening when you see people talking bad about all these communities because unfortunately, there is a higher number, I think, of bad people that go to more rural places, areas that they can kind of get away with things and, skirt the system, so to speak, right? But that does not have anything to do with the abundance of amazing people that I have met and have been blessed to meet while living, on the Tennessee-Kentucky border.
Knows her from years ago.
I will put
There's a connection there. I'll just
this in chat. Let's see. Trying to find this one thing here that I had noted from when I was listening. Here it is.
Yes. Sew it up.
Credit to Justin from Clutch Them
Pictures
Pearls.
have to do with it.
But these are on the Facebook group. They are posted in the Facebook, and now there's a bunch of groups that are starting. So I don't know what Facebook group, but there's a bunch of groups that now have launched for Jayden.
I understand. Like, I've really tried to these times, and if you guys are watching, I say this as I talk about these cases every day, and there's two ways you can really go about it, maybe three, but one way is, I know you want to fire back at some people for whatever reason, but if you do that, expect it to get bigger. Okay? And you can either do that or you can just not reply. And that's the two I would go down if I was her. Because, I mean, this person was asking a legitimate question to this aunt. From what I understand, the way I understand it. And it's what does pictures have to do with it? Well, hell, he's fucking missing, ma'am. I think we need more than one picture for everybody to see him. I mean, he's missing. That picture is pretty recent. A child who is hyperactive isn't always sitting still to get a good photo. You're fucking kidding me. I'm sorry, but that's the stupidest thing. That's the stupidest excuse I have ever heard, ever, about not getting a hyperactive child. It's hard to get a picture. You can run a fucking marathon.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sorry I didn't give context and I just jumped right into it, but I was agreeing so wholeheartedly with what Justin was saying on this stuff. Because when you read, so let me tell you a little bit, right? There was update. It was a public search update statement that was made. And there was this back and forth by Lisa Brenti. And it says, my mother took care of the kids because Felicia couldn't. So please stop with this. We're going through enough. And Felicia does not want to talk to us. What the F? Stop saying shit on here that none of you have any clue what's real, any rumors. Just stop. The police are doing their best to bring him home. Deja vu, right? And then Davy and Shy Combs said, what does pictures have to do with it? The picture is pretty recent. A child who is hyperactive isn't always going to stay still, isn't always sitting still to get a photo. We have plenty of videos and photos of Jayden. Sorry about that, Jayden. KSP, the rescue team, and the K9 unit have those. He was also on the go. Just because we are not sharing a shit ton of pictures doesn't mean, I guess, that they don't have them, which, I mean, exactly what Justin is saying. Your child is missing. You should want us to know exactly what they look like. You should be producing as many photos and videos as possible so people know what, instead you're on Facebook and you're arguing and we're getting deja vu and whiplash and PTSD because it kind of really seems similar in a lot of ways to the beginning cases that we had recently with what happens when the families go on and they're engaging in this back and forth with people. And they're more concerned, it seems, with social media than with searching for the missing child. I mean, it is fucking ridiculous. And I'm sorry, the first F-bomb to come out of my mouth, but it is absolutely unimaginable to not have photos of a child. To me, we know why. There's a couple photos that surface. It's probably because great grandma is the one that had the photos. I mean, if you don't have photos of them, then in my opinion, let's see how many photos you have of all the other children. How many photos do you have of all the girls? How many selfies do these aunts have up? I mean, it's just outrageous.
Marathon today with an iPhone. And it looks like fine. Not even school pictures? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bullshit. I mean, that tells me something there. I mean, Candace Wells is one of the biggest crack hoes that God ever stretched a piece of skin over, in my opinion, and should not have nothing living should be, taken care. She should not take care of anything living. I mean, not even a pumpkin seed before it sprouts. Seriously. But that woman took so many pictures of the kids. Right? And I think, Candace, she wasn't on a mother level. She was more on the same childlike level. But damn. I mean, I'm sorry, but I have seen Samantha's, I don't know how long Samantha was with him or whatever, but like she takes a lot of pictures, it appears. But this is not Samantha doing it. I'm talking about Dart.
So I just thought it was interesting to see what they're saying on the social media. And I think that sometimes, as an adult, there's going to be a little cussing that comes into play because you're just so frustrated. It's just absolutely astounding. And in my opinion, it's atrocious at times to read this kind of stuff. I mean, there's a real questions. I mean, I'm having deja vu of that group that I was in for Sebastian, where you're asking a real question. And then it's like, how dare you? How dare you? I mean, it's just, I don't get it. So Andrea Marie had asked, when was the last time y'all saw your nephew? And Dart and Shy Combs said the last day Samantha had talked to Jayden personally was July 3rd. And then, they asked all kinds about his special needs. And then here's one of the Facebook groups. It's called The Mysterious Disappearance of Jayden Spicer, Jackson, Kentucky. And it says, I know for a fact that I heard someone, sister or neighbor, I'm not remembering which, I had stated they saw Jayden 5 days before he disappeared. Why is some idiot on YouTube saying July 3rd? And it says, I'm going back into the news, reporting all posts by Samantha. Just all kinds of stuff with these families. And I'll be on later where we can talk more about it because it's just astounding, really. You know, it really is. It's just unbelievable. I mean, to sit there and to be in a group and argue in a group while your loved one is out there and you don't allegedly know what happened to them or where they are, and debating with the public is asinine to me, especially if she has all these children. It's just, all of this is just asinine. So all I can say is that, you know, we can pray for the best, try to share as much accurate information as we can. And, you know, like Trishy was saying, this seems to be endemic. It's not right. This is awful. And something needs to be done. Let me just put up Jayden's information before I wrap it up for the day. And I will come on tonight. Okay, let me just get this up here for you guys. Let me know what you think in chat. You can always email me also at 411ccn@gmail.com. If you guys have any, you know, anything you want me to cover or certain things that you've seen that you want me to have that you know, don't know if I've seen it, or if you have any, you know, any commentary or any feedback that you'd like to give me. I'm also looking for a couple co-hosts. I want to do a couple different shows. So I started talking to people about getting a couple co-hosts. If you're interested in doing, you know, co-hosting a show with me, let me know. Please email me at 411ccn@gmail.com. So this is, no, this is not it. That's Trooper Gayhard. I was just looking to see if Trooper Gayhard had posted anything else before we head off. So the latest information was the state senator joined the search. Let's see. Yeah, see, even Grok is talking about this, allegedly, this firearm that was found buried in the vicinity of where he went missing. But I haven't, you know, I'm checking now again, and I'm not seeing anything that is confirming that right now. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen it confirmed by, you know, a news agency or. So it says here that, here we go, we'll end with Jayden's flyer and the phone number. Therapy's wrapping up at 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna hop off here and go back to doing my mom and duties. Which is what is so just unbelievable to me as a mom, you know. How some of this can be. It's just shocking, truly. Right. don't see the official missing persons flyer. See a lot that people have made, like the Aware Foundation and different people, but I don't see the actual official one for some reason. I'm not sure why. Huh. So strange. I never heard of this show before. I know there was also a teenager when you were searching that was missing, and he was actually found safe in April with the same name, but he was a teenager and not in the same area. Let's see. Well, I guess I'll just use one of these that are coming up on the Google because I don't know where the heck the original, flyer that's put out by law enforcement, why I can't seem to find it on the websites. And I can't find it in the searches either when I'm searching. It's really weird. I wonder why that is. Don't know. No idea why that is. Well, here we go. Jayden Spicer is 10, was last seen around 9 p.m. on August 5th at his home on Panville Branch Road in Jackson community of Kentucky. It is believed that Jayden left his residence sometime overnight or the early morning of the 6th. If you have any information that could help solve his disappearance or bring him home safely, please call 606-435-6069. You want me to help open this with her? All right, you got to ask her. I'm going to wrap up and go say goodbye to Jay and hang around and chat for a few minutes. Take care.
She's got a heart that never quits, child. Advocate, never step through the running a PTA with a smile so sweet, hands in the air like she's gotta preach, solving mysteries with a truth so deep, spreading love, never out of reach. Advocate with a voice so clear, lifting up kids, chasing away the fear. Got her facts straight like a newsroom star, helping hearts heal from near and far. Oh, she's momming it up in style, every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night, fighting for love like a warrior so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back, advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more open, hope, third at heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find the gold, even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl, for every single single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style. Every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night. Fighting for love like a warrior, so bright. And the warrior, so bright. Oh, she's momming it up in style. Every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night. Fighting for love like a warrior, so bright. Oh, so bright. Warrior, so bright. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back. Advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more. Open heart, burning heart, she's the one they adore. In the counselor's chair, she's got your back. Advice so smooth, never gonna lack. Dr. Phil vibes, but 10 times more. Open heart, burning heart, she's the one they adore. Seeing the good, she'll find a goal. Even in stories that were once so cold. Eyes like a hawk, she's on the prowl. For every single truth, she'll walk that mile. Oh, she's momming it up in style. Every step, every mile. With a heart that's fierce, she lights the night. Fighting for love like a warrior, so bright. Running a PTA with a smile so sweet. Hands in the air like she's gotta preach. Soft. Woke up before the dawn. She's got her armor on. Fighting for those who can't. Champion with a loving chant. Sharp and couth, unlocks doors with every word, and justice never goes unheard. Oh, she's momming it up with a heart so tough. Advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. Canceling in every call, patching up before the fall. She sees the good in every face, spreads hope all over the place. Like Dr. Phil with a softer touch, opinions firm but love so much. Her guidance is a shining star, lifting lives both near and far. Oh, she's momming it up with a heart so tough. Advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. With a heart so tough, advocate for every child, makes the world a little more wild. Makes the world a little more wild. Makes the world a little more wild. Force of nature, strong and kind. Voice for those who can't speak their mind. Sees the world through a lens so clear. Finds the truth without any fear. Oh, she's momming it up day and night. With a heart that's glowing bright. Helping those who need a hand. Guiding them to understanding. Counseling hearts so wise and true. In her mind, visions of the new. Sees potential in every soul. Loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's longing up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understand. Counseling hearts so wise and true, in her mind visions of the new, sees potential in every soul. Loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's longing up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding. Advocate for every child, lending ears and running wild, shines a light in the darkest place, fighting battles with mother's grace. Investigates with sharpest eyes, exposes truth, no compromise, holds opinions strong and willful, but gives advice that's ever skillful. Oh, she's longing up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understand. She's the force of nature, strong and kind, voice for those who can't speak their mind, sees the world through a lens so clear, finds the truth without any fear. Oh, she's longing it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding. Counseling hearts so wise and true, in her mind visions of the new.